Nadine Roos from the Springbok Women's Sevens. This tournament has been good for us. I think a very good finish. We didn't start the tournament off too well against Spain. Some missed opportunities that we had there. Then the loss against Brazil, but we finished the day one off well with beating Kenya 14-12, and then a great start to day two with a 33-5 victory over China. I think that was one of our best games this weekend. And then again against Argentina, didn't capitalize on the opportunities that we had. We had 4 knock-ons in that game in crucial moments. So if we can just capitalize on those mistakes and put points on the board, we will definitely take a team like Argentina's confidence away. And yeah, we probably would have had a bigger scoreboard, but at the end of the day, the scoreboard is not the actual reflection of the game. There was really some great heart and fight shown from the ladies, and yeah, really proud of the ladies for sticking out there till that last dying seconds.
Who has been your toughest opponent so far?
To be honest, we make it very tough for ourselves, but with this type of league style of rugby, there's a lot of pressure on all the teams because every game is a must win. And it's almost like, to be honest, every opponent here is tough. The quality of rugby they've shown over this weekend, there was a mixed bag of things that happened this weekend. Brazil lost a game, China lost a few games, Argentina was basically the only team that went unbeaten till facing us, and then Spain also lost a game, but then they came out guns blazing at the end of day one, and put a lot of points on the board and had that fight back. And then you also look at a team like Brazil, losing this last game. It just shows you the pressure this game and style of league gives. So basically everyone is tough facing in the sevens too.
Okay, briefly speak about the crowd here at Nyayo Stadium.
Yeah, I think it was wonderful playing against the crowd, in front of a crowd like Kenya. We know they're very passionate people. The Kenyans, they're also very friendly, which I like about them. Very helpful as well. That's what we've experienced with the Kenyan people. But it really shows, what Africa in general can produce, and the power of the African continent. If we really can, collide and bring that together, I think it will definitely be something we can give to the world and show them how passionate we are about rugby. And it's wonderful playing against a crowd like this, especially if you're facing Kenya, you're playing against the crowd too. But also it's really nice and really good to see the support for women's rugby, but the men as well.
What will you say is the status of women's rugby on the continent, especially the game of sevens?
Sorry, just repeat again.
What would you say is the status of the women's game on the continent? Sevens and 15s.
The sevens game for women, it's a fast-growing game, especially with the 15s as well. Last year with the World Cup, you can see the resources England put into the 50s World Cup, the rugby that was produced there. Even Brazil, they're not a well-established 15s program, they're still in development, but the sevens is a well-established program. But how they stuck in that fight and the spirit of rugby that they showed at the World Cup. And I think also with this new format that World Rugby is trying out, with the 7s 1 and the 7s 2, it's giving other teams the opportunity to play at a higher level. Like teams like Spain, China, ourselves and Brazil, we've been on the World Series for a season, so we know the standards that you need to play at there, and how high the stakes is there. And that also shows the growth of women's rugby, and especially men's rugby as well, and the opportunities it creates for women's rugby and to grow the sport.
Of course, there are opinions that this Division 1 and Division 2 is more or less like diluting the game. What's your opinion about that?
I think it's really tough. Sevens has been going through a lot. If you look at the past 2-3 years, I think there's a lot of resources going into 15s. I think they really want to grow the 15s game. But also, if you look at the sevens, I'm going to use our Springbok men for example. Players like Cheslin Colby, Kirtley Arendse, all those players that played at the World Cup, and you know we've won a World Cup back to back. They all started in sevens, so we shouldn't throw the game of sevens away because it produced high-speed rugby. It produced great skill set levels. If you put a sevens player into a 15s format, it just shows you the type of rugby they play. You know, you have a lot of space to cover as a sevens players, and your one-on-one skills needs to be, you know, very good. Otherwise, you get beaten or exposed out on that field, and that's just hard work. It's just that, you know, that grind and grit that you show out on the field, and not taking it away from 15s players, but sevens players are just built differently. And I think if you take the sevens player into a 15s game, they add a lot of factors into the 15s game, and they contribute a lot. So we mustn't throw away the game of sevens. It's like, I mean, look at this crowd. Like, the people want entertainment, and like with sevens, you get to watch. You know, you get to watch 8 different teams in a day, or you watch 12 different games in a day. So, and every game is different.
Thank you.